Hey guys, just to make a quick video on a recap for chapter 1. Okay, so chapter 1, when we talk about physical quantities, there's a couple of ways to actually categorize them. First way is that physical quantities consist of both a magnitude and a unit. Okay, so magnitude, what's a magnitude? Magnitude is simply a value you can see here on the left. The unit is which represents, for example, 4 and kilometers, 3 seconds, 8 degrees Celsius. So all physical quantities have a magnitude and a unit. Okay, so the second way that we can actually categorize them is that we can actually there are two broad categories known as base quantities and derived quantities. In base quantities physics, okay, in fact in all sciences there are only seven base quantities. These are basically the building blocks of all the physical quantities. And derived quantities, there are many. Okay, so an example would be for actually not example, all the seven base quantities will be length, mass, time, electric current, temperature. These first five was mainly used in physics O levels. Amount of substance probably will be used in that's a mole, that's in chemistry, and luminous intensity we don't really cover that in the O levels. Okay, so based on all these seven, okay, we can derive many infinitely many derived quantities. For example, like volume, density, velocity. You can see all these are actually derived from base quantities. Okay, the third way that we can actually categorize them for physical quantities is that they are categorized based on scalars or vectors. Okay, so what exactly are they? Scalars have magnitude only, and vectors have both a magnitude and a direction. Okay, so like what we explained in class, um, scalars will be a distance, or speed, or volume. You can see it doesn't matter whether you're going left or right, forward, backwards. There's no direction involved. It's only a magnitude only, so it's only increases or decreases. That's it. Okay, but for vectors, there is a direction. For example, for force, you can actually there is actually a difference between a left force or a right force, front, back, up, down, you see, right? So those are vectors. Okay, you can actually refer to my previous videos, which we actually explain a little bit more on the difference between distance, displacement, and speed, velocity. Okay, all right. After that, we actually talked about. Remember, we talked about gigantic monkey's kick meeting my nasty punch. We went into prefixes. So prefixes, we got to remember like there is actually a pattern here, like 3, 6, 9, 12 for kilo, mega, giga, tera, and so on. For milli, micro, nano, and pico. Okay, so you got to know what is the factor for each of them, and there's mainly a difference between small letter m, big letter m's, and so on. Okay, and finally for chapter 1, we also talked about, you are right, the pendulum. Okay, so a complete swing, like example, you pass through the center, but it comes back to the center, you must go and then come back in the same direction. That is known as one oscillation. That's right. And the timing for one oscillation is, yes, the timing for one oscillation is known as the period. Okay, and normally when we take the period of of a pendulum, we don't usually take one, because they will have that will involve human errors, human reaction time errors at the start and the end, and so we actually take usually more than 10 oscillations, and then we divide by 10. Okay, hope that was basically a quick recap of chapter 1. Hope you guys found that useful. We'll see you guys in the next.